Hi guys, welcome back. So on this video I'll be showing us how to sew this top. On my last video I shared with us on how to draft and cut out using our underbust tightening technique. So the link will be on my description box below. So let's start. So I went ahead already to cut out my fabric. I added 1.5 for my sewing allowance, and I added half inch to join the pieces together. I did the same thing to my yoke. I cut out my yoke and I add my allowances. So I'm going to put my stay on my pieces. I'll put the stay on all the pieces except the lining, guys. I'll put my stay on all the pieces except the lining. So I'll go and do it and I'll come back and show us what we should be having. So guys, I've put my stay already on my front pieces just like I said. So I put it on my front pieces like this, and I put it also on my yoke. I didn't put on my lining, guys. So I put on my yoke like this on the main pieces, on the main fabric, not the lining. So after doing this, the next thing is to join our yoke, to sew in our yoke. So I'll place my yoke like this. The right side will be facing me, and I'll place my lining on it, on top of it. Like right side of my main fabric and the right side of my lining will be facing each other, and I'll arrange it properly. That's the way I see me do on the video. So after arranging it properly, I'll sew in my neck like this and sew in my stylish yoke like this. I'll go and do it, and I'll turn it out and I'll iron it. So before going to the sewing machine, I'll show us how to put our wadding. It's called wadding or called breast pad. So this is my front, my pieces for my front. So I'll turn it to the wrong side. So I'll come down by half inch like this, and I'll mark out my underbust line. That's my underbust. I'll mark out my underbust like this. So where I came down by half inch to where my underbust end, that is where I'm going to iron my wadding. So from here to here is where I'll put my wadding. So I came down by half inch because that's the allowance I'm going to use to sew in my yoke. So this is my center front. So that's where I'm going to put my wadding from here to here. So I'll keep that one aside. So I'll move to the side front. I'll come down by half inch. You see that where your cuff end, that is your underbust. So I'll mark it out and I'll bring my curve ruler. So guys, this is optional. I'm only showing us what I normally do and what works for me, guys. It's not compulsory, like it's not standard, it's just optional. I'm only sharing my knowledge. So I'll bring my arm like my cuff like this, and I'll follow the cuff and press it like that. I'll just trace it out like that, just to have that cup effect. So I'll do it on the other side like this. So where you see me put cuff like that, that's where I'm going to put my wadding. So I'll go and do it, and I'll come back and show us what we should be having. So if you don't know wadding, this is wadding. So I'm using the medium part, the medium size, not too thick and not too light. So I'm going to iron it on my fabric and show us what we have. So I've already went ahead to iron it on my fabric. So this is what you should be having. And I also sew my yoke and iron it out. So this is my yoke. I've turned it out already to the right side. I've ironed it well. You see how everything is sitting properly. So it's time to join these are pieces together. So the first thing I do is I make sure that my underbust are matching. That's what I do. I'll pin it like that. After I'll pin it like that, making sure that my underbust are matching first. After pinning it, I'll now arrange it like this and sew. Guys, make sure your underballs are matching. That's what I do, and it works for me. So I'll pin and I'll sew it like so. So I'll do it to the other side, making sure my underballs are matching. And I'll go to my sewing machine and sew it. So most times, after sewing it, you find out that the upper side are not matching. So you trim it, and it's not going to affect you. You trim it. So I'll go and do it, and I'll come back and show us what we should be having. So guys, I have joined it together and I iron it inside. So you should be having this. I iron it, as you can see. You see how everything is sitting comfortable, like sitting well. So you should be having this. So after this, the next thing is to join our yoke to the down part of the front. So the same thing I did to my fabric, I did it to my lining, just that I did not put stay on it and worked on it. I joined it the same way I told us to join the main fabric. So guys, remember when I was cutting, I told you that I added the same allowance I added on my down part. I added it on my yoke, so they'll match at the side. So I'll bring my yoke like this and I'll pin it. I added 1.5 for my side, and the same thing I did it for my yoke. I added 1.5 for the side of my yoke, like close to like the armhole area, because I want the both side to be matching. So I'll bring it like this and I will join it like this. I will not sew yet. I will not sew it yet. I'll just put it like this. So I wanted to explain more. I added 1.5 for my side for my fabric. So I added the same 1.5 for my side so that they will match together. So I'll bring it like this and I'll place it like this. That's the way you see me do. I'll place the other side like this too. I'm not sewing yet. I'll just you can pin so that it will not move. So I'll bring in my lining, making sure the midpoints are matching and is right side facing each other. So after doing this, I'll pin it and I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it by 1/2 inch. So guys, take your time and pin and before you sew. So I'll go and sew it by 1/2 inch and I'll top stitch and turn it to the right side and show us what we have. I'll iron it. So you should be having this after that. So you should be having it. You see how everywhere is clean. I've top stitched it already. So it's time for us to sew the down parts of this front. So guys, we are still working on our fronts, guys. So it's time to sew in the down part of the front. So you see what I'm doing. I'll flip it open like this and I'll bring my lining like this, right side facing each other, and make sure those lines are matching. They are matching with the lining. So I will arrange it properly and sew in by the allowance I give. So for me, I added 1/2 inch. So I'm sewing it by 1/2 inch. So I'll turn it out from this other side. So guys, I have done that, and this is what I am having. So I'll move to the back pattern, to the back pieces. So I went ahead to cut out my back pieces like this. I added my allowances, 1.5 for sewing, 1.1 inch for the zip, and 1/2 inch for the up and down. The same thing I did to the, I added 1.5 for the side, I added 1.5 for the yoke too. So guys, I'm going to put my stay on my fabric, or only the Ankara alone. I'll put it on the Ankara and I'll put it on the yoke too. So I'll go and do that and I'll come back and show us what we should be having. So guys, I've put my stay already, so I'm trying to transfer my that to my fabric. So we call it dart transfer. So I'll use my pin to transfer my darts. So I put my pin here, 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 and here. So I'll turn it over to the fabric side. So I'll use my chalk to trace out, following my pin guide. So it's dart transfer. This is how I transfer my dart to my fabric if I want to cut out. So you can do whatever works for you. So I'll remove my pattern first and remove the pin, and I'll do the same thing to this other side, like so. So I'll turn it like this and I'll place my pattern like that. I'll turn in my pattern too. So I'll put my pin, that's the way I did it. I'll put my pin like this and I'll turn it to the fabric side, and I'll use my chalk to trace out, following that pin. So I'll go and sew in my darts. I'll sew in my darts. Before I sew in my darts, I'll show us how to join our neck yoke. So this is the neck yoke for the back. I put my stay on my Ankara too, only the Ankara, as you can see. So I'll sew my neck line like this. I'll sew it like this, like this, like this. So I'll go and sew it and I'll turn it up to the right side and iron it. So guys, I have sewn in my darts. So the same thing I did for my Ankara, I did it for my lining. So I've already turned in my yoke, like as you can see. So I did the same thing for my lining too. So it's time to join our yoke to our bodies. So I'll turn it like this, that's the way you see me do. So I'll place my lining on top of it like so. So guys, I'm trying to arrange my lining like this, and I'll go and sew it by 1/2 inch like this, and I'll turn it out of stitch and turn it over an iron. So I'll do the same thing to the other side. I'll place my yoke first on it like this, and I'll bring my lining pieces and put it on top of it, making sure right side is facing each other, right side facing each other. So I will go and sew it like this, top stitch and iron. So guys, I have done it. So I'm having this. You should be having this by now also, if you're following me. So it's time to fix our zip. As you can see, I didn't sew my zip allowance. I didn't sew it. So whatever inches you give for your zip allowance, don't sew it, just keep it. So I'll sew in my zip. So I'll open my pieces like this, and I'll bring my zip, right side of my zip facing the right side of my fabric like this, and I'll sew closely to the teeth of the zip. That's how to make it, that's how to sew a very good zip. So after sewing this other side, I'll sew it to this other side like so, using the allowance you give for your zipper. So I'll go and sew it and I'll show us what we have. So guys, I have sewn my zip, and this is what we have. You see how everything is sweet, everything is looking good. So guys, as you can see, I sew in the allowance I gave, so make sure you do that. So guys, it's time to turn our lining to with our fabric to close this our zip to have a very good finishing. So I'll turn my fabric like this. That's what you see me do. It's very easy to understand if you're watching the video. So I'll sew like this, very close to the zip like this. So I'll do the same thing to this side. I'll bring my yoke and I'll bring my lining. Arrange it very well. I'll sew like this first and sew closely to the zip, but don't sew the teeth of your zip. So I'll go and do it and I'll turn it out, iron it, cut out the excess of the zip and show us what I have. So guys, I've done it. I've cut out my excess of my zip that was remaining. I iron it and it should be having this. You see, very clean finishing. You see how everything is sweet. So I'll zip my zip. You see, no bulginess. So after this, it's time to sew in the down part of our top. So I'll flip it open like this and turn it like this, right side facing each other, and I'll sew by ½ inch. I'm sewing by ½ inch because I gave it ½ inch. So if you give your own 1 inch, sew by 1 inch. So guys, I'll go and do it and iron it and keep it aside. So after doing that, I'll do it to this other side. I will flip it like this and I'll go and sew it by the allowance I gave, and I'll iron it and keep it aside. So after doing that, it's time to join our front to the back bodice. So the first thing you do is you bring your shoulders together, your front shoulder and your back shoulder, right side facing each other. So you use one of the lining to flip it over like this, just the way you're seeing me do. So you try to arrange it very well. Try to arrange it very well, and you sew by ½ inch. So after sewing your shoulders together, you sew your sides together. So sewing your tops like this, making sure that the down part are matching, and you sew by the allowance you give. You do the same thing to this other side. You sew it by the allowance you give, making sure that your down parts are matching, because you can still trim your armhole after everything, but your down part should be matching. So I'll go and do it and iron it and show us what we have. So I've went ahead to sew in my shoulders and my side. So this is what I'm having. So after sewing it like this, you find out that your armhole is small, so you trim your armhole using your armhole circumference. So after trimming your armhole, you fix your sleeve. So I've already shared a video on how I achieved this sleeve. Is on my channel already. So I'll put the link on the description box if you want to use this sleeve. But you can decide to use a different sleeve for it. So I'll go and fix my sleeves to my top, and that is that for this video. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys.
I ain't got a clue, bro. I said 5 in the morning. I wake up to 5 for my earnings. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. Tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. Tried to get by, but I'm burning.